name is Han Qijing. I'm currently studying sustainable agriculture and food security at Lancaster University. I've been learning all the issues that threaten our ability to produce food to feed the world's growing population. I was shocked to notice the problems facing my country, China, in particular the water shortage crisis. Professor Zhang is a Chinese plant scientist who finished his PhD degree at Lancaster University and devoted himself into crop protection under water-limited environment back in China.
China has got the largest population, and we have 1.3 billion people, and the population is still increasing at the moment. And at the moment we can produce enough food for ourselves, but this is not guaranteed if we don't consider the available agricultural resources. And we over the years we have realized that a water shortage is the #1 threat to Chinese food security.
I heard about water scarcity in the northwest of China. Can you tell me more details about it?
Okay, in northwest of China, we're talking about 5 provinces. They occupy about 1/3 of the land there. This area is classified as arid or semi-arid areas. Agriculture heavily relies on irrigation. And a major part of this northwest of China is what we call oasis agriculture, where the water is come from high mountains and the flow into the desert, and this creates an oasis in the desert. And this oasis agriculture is very vulnerable to environmental changes. And for example, if you use too much water for the crops, then you are less water left to the environment. The result is this oasis is shrinking, desertification happens, which causes lots of environmental problems. So we say it's very vulnerable in this northwest part of China, and water is most precious.
One of the worst hit areas is in Minqing County in the northwest of China, which is turning from ancient wetlands into desert due to intensive human activities, mainly producing food to feed China's growing population. In fact, desertification in Minqing is a serious issue because it's one of China's 3 major sandstorm originations due to its lying between 2 deserts. However, the story doesn't just end there, as the Chinese have recognized the issues and they are trying to solve them. How bad are the problems, and if the solutions are working? I was curious to see what is happening for myself. That's why I took a trip to Minqing to find out. My flight arrived in Lanzhou, the capital of Gansu province. On my way from Lanzhou to Minqing, I saw a lot of farmland with bare mountains in the background. The landscape is quite different to my hometown, Hangzhou, which is in the southeast of China, where there is more vegetation. I found a lot of transparent plastic films on the farmland and some mud greenhouses, showing that some simple water-saving techniques have been used in this dry area. My first stop in Minqing is Laohukou Desertification, Prevention and Control Demonstration Area, where people have been planting vegetation that can survive under extremely dry conditions to prevent desert from moving to the farmland. This control area has been successful. Just next to the desert, there is farmland and greenhouses. Although I heard something about abandoned villages before I came, I still found locals living not far from the desert. As I was curious about how locals' lives were being affected by scarce water, I interviewed a local I met by chance.
影响是有难了，供不应求了。
所以你们现在用的主要是地下水为主。
地下水主用的地下水。
大概现在井水是要挖到多少米才有？
就是100吨子到200吨子。
My next stop is Qingchu Lake, located at the low reaches of Shiyang River Basin. The 400 square kilometers, 60-meter deep Qingchu Lake dried up in 30 years since the 1960s. Intensive farming since the 1950s sapped underground water in Mingqing and destroyed the local ecology. However, as Qingchu Lake plays a vital role in preventing desertification in Mingqing, in 2010, 8.6 million cubic meter water was infused from Hongyashan Reservoir into the lake. And also due to the wider use of water-saving irrigation here, the wetlands have come back again. The next day, I went to Hongyashan Reservoir, which is the biggest desert reservoir in Asia. It's really impressive as the reservoir is just standing at the edge of 2 deserts. It offers agricultural water supply in this region, but currently water is only let out in spring once per year. That's why the big dam seems dried out. I was happy to visit several demonstration areas which have been successful in using water-saving techniques to grow good quality fruits and vegetables. Drip irrigation has been widely used in Mingqing, which is able to largely increase water use efficiency. Mud-made greenhouses are a traditional farming system in Shiyang River Basin, which is good for using water more efficiently.
Wall is mainly made by the mud mixture with the winter straw, so it can keep warm in the winter.
This demonstration area is owned by a company, and farmers are employed here. In Mingqing, farmers' rights to access to water for irrigation have now been passed to the government. They have to swipe cards to get unlimited water for irrigation. They are also not allowed to grow crops that consume too much water. Meanwhile, the governments have been supporting farmers technically and financially. A lady who didn't take part in the interview, as she may get into trouble, told me that she had been a farmer for years. But as she found being a farmer here is becoming more and more difficult, eventually she changed her job. She told me that farmers were complaining that their crops couldn't get enough water. As a result, their yield was terribly low. I can't say whether she told me was completely true, but I feel there might be problems in the extension of water-saving techniques. The education or financial support of farmers might be not enough. After Mingqing, I visited the Shiyanghe Experimental Station in Wei City. The station is supported by China Agricultural University and the local government for improving water use efficiency in agriculture. The station has attained many important achievements on water-saving theories and technologies through detailed field observation and mathematical modeling. It also has strong links with universities overseas, including Lancaster University. Graduate students are also doing research here.
We're here now in Gansu, China, with our research partners at China Agricultural University. And I'm actually standing in my experiment for the summer. I'm going to stay here 3 months and work with our research partners at China Agricultural University. And the study is on a technique in irrigation called partial root zone irrigation. And so what we're going to do is actually apply some irrigation to one side of the root zone, and then the next irrigation event will apply it to the other side of the root zone. And this has been shown to actually improve the water use efficiency in crops. And I'm working with tomato and also going to couple that with different nitrogen application rates and see if we can get actually improved water use efficiency and also hopefully some positive interactions with nutrient use efficiency.
The aim of the station is to bridge the gap between scientific knowledge and practical application through coordination symposiums, organization demonstration, and training activities.
We established a lot of field farmers water saving school.
我就是这当地人，就是东河乡王金寨村11族农民。我在这个地方经常不是打工，后续我又不是，他不是创办的一个农民田间学校，不是那我当时校长，已经3年，搞了已经3年了，是为了这学习这个实际上咱这个节水技术、节水经验啊。大田玉米的话，一般耗水量就是300方左右；抹下地瓜的话，耗水量就是180方左右。能节省1/3。
当地的政府有没有在帮助你们，比如说给你们经济上的帮助，关于节水的技术？
基本上它就是一种技术辅导，没说是什么经济上的补助没有。
那你们需要自己买设备什么这些？
设备是买不起，老百姓只是一般是啥愿意节水，但是是没有资金买不起，因为啥？这手部的这个投资太大。
And thank you for joining us for this project, a very important issue. And I hope.
I even attended a 2-day conference in Beijing about increasing water use efficiency in agriculture. Over 20 scholars from different universities and countries gave presentations of their work, which definitely opened my eyes. I was quite interested in the research work of Dr. Alan Bengal, who is from Israel. The agriculture in Israel is highly developed, despite the fact that over half of the land area is desert and water is in short supply. He shared his work with me.
I think in today's world, with how it works, if we want food security, a farmer has to be able to make money.
Yeah.
Right? Because otherwise food won't be produced, because everything's driven by the economy. So if we have systems where food production is economically worthwhile for the people producing it, then we'll have more food security over time. When you combine these dry areas with the very salty irrigation water, we've found methods of being agronomically successful, being economically successful sometimes, but it seems to maybe be at the expense of long-term sustainability. And then we're coming into some pretty serious conclusions that how we're dealing with our salts now isn't correct, and using better quality water, because our research is showing that with that kind of water we can be much more sustainable. We don't use as much nutrients, we don't pollute with our salts, we don't do other incidental contamination of our environment.
After my trip, I noticed that a lot of scientists are trying to address water scarcity together in terms of food security. Obviously, purely scientific research is not enough. How to transfer rudimentary knowledge and innovative techniques to farmers is also important for scientists. Experimental station and those demonstrations are good examples. I was pleased to see the progress Minqing has been implemented in the recent years. However, how to balance the water use between agriculture and ecosystem, and how to work with farmers still remain as key challenges for us. I'm hoping that more and more people can be aware of the issues behind our daily food. This could be happening anywhere in the world, and they may impact your life as we are all living in such a globalized world today.